Welcome, fellow Clashers, to another episode of Clash of Clans Attacks. Today, it's time for some more Clash Royale and the dirty, rotten, filthy, ugly, let's just call it the dirtiest deck of all. Now, this deck probably will absolutely frustrate your opponents. It doesn't always work, but when it does, it is brutally annoying to your opponent. And I'm talking about a deck that basically works off of ranged damage. You don't even need to touch the other towers with troops when you've got rockets, fireballs, lightning, and sometimes a mirror card to mirror even more ranged damage. And basically all you're doing is focusing on defense while you drop lightning, fireballs, rockets across the river and damage those towers until you manage to pull out the victory. Now, of course, it can be very elixir demanding. You've got to fend off things like golems and big swarms of troops that might come at you, and it doesn't always work out, but when it works, let me tell you, it makes for some angry opponents because it can be very difficult to stop. Now, victory with this deck usually comes down to the units you're defending with, and I've brought a lot of splash damage. I've brought the dragon, I've brought the wizard, I've also brought barbarians and the freeze spell, just in case I need to stop who knows what. It can stop swarms, it can stop big giant units like golems, giant skeletons, or massive P.E.K.K.A.s. Here we've got a mini P.E.K.K.A coming at me, and it is going to get to that tower, but not get a lot of damage done before it goes down. And again, I'm focused mostly on just range damage, not worried about getting units over there and to do direct damage striking the tower. Every now and then the barbarian gets through, gets a couple of hits on his left tower, but really I'm focused on trying to send the rockets, the lightning spell over there, and ideally I'm using the rocket or the lightning spell when I can grab another unit with it. Damaging the tower is great, but if you can damage the tower and a couple of units that are on the offensive, even better, and definitely gives you an elixir advantage, which is often the key to victory in these type of battles. Now, the rocket, obviously a difficult card to get to strike the tower and another unit, but as players oftentimes will drop a unit in the very back of the playing field, sometimes you can get the rocket, even with its small radius, to grab both. In this case, I just sent the rocket over there. We've got his left tower down to just under 800 hit points and full elixir. He's obviously going with the golem strategy, but I've got an Inferno tower on deck, so I'm not real worried about stopping the golem as long as I can get the Inferno down and get some splash damage out there, because that's usually what attackers will use in with a golem, is a bunch of smaller units to try to protect the golem. In this case, I've got a dragon to help get those out of the way. I've got a freeze spell to slow things down. The dragon's going to get a lot of damage in, and that is just about going to stop that assault. Now I've got double dragons up because of the freeze spell and the first dragon being dropped so far back. I've got two dragons active on the playing field at the same time, but again, it's the rocket that is going to do the damage. Left tower down to less than 100 hit points, and yes, the Angry King emote from my opponent. He is obviously not happy with that, and this battle is over. It is time for a lightning spell on the left tower, and that is it. Almost no units doing direct damage, and a wow from Corneous Cloud as it's range damage that wins the battle 1 crown to 0. Now that was the dirty deck at level 10. Here is the dirty deck at level 7, and this time with a mirror card, so even dirtier, with the opportunity to throw double lightning spells, double rockets across the river and really frustrate your opponent. I start off right off the bat with a rocket, but at 6 elixir, it leaves me pretty low on elixir. I am still able to counter the hog, but it is going to get in there and grab a couple of shots. Freeze spell, but I've got these spear goblins off to the far right. Luckily, they did not get frozen at the same time. And again, this deck, I would not call it overpowering. I would not call it a deck that's always going to win. But if you really want to make your opponent angry, this is the deck to do it. And I have to say, Clash Royale, it's a game for trolls. This game with the emotes, with the different cards you can use, the dirty decks with expos, range damage like this, definitely has the opportunity to make for a lot of Angry King emotes coming from your opponent. Now, he does have a mirror card as well, but I am going with range damage. I've got the rocket up again, I've got the lightning spell up again, and we're just waiting to build up elixir. And yes, send the rocket over a little late, didn't grab anything else with it, but the right tower again under 1,000 hit points, and it's just a matter of countering what he has, and that can be difficult at times with this deck with so many spell cards. Fireball, freeze, lightning, rocket, mirror. It doesn't leave you a lot of troops to slow stuff down. And right here with that fireball, I've got him under 500 hit points on that right tower. And we're both saving up elixir for another reset, another assault, and me, again, mostly spell cards, only the archers available as a defensive troop. And that is going to prove a bit problematic right here, but I really like this exchange. Here comes the Hog Rider. I'm going to counter it by freezing the Hog Rider and dropping in a tombstone in front. He freezes me right back. The Hog Rider gets a tombstone down right there. Beautiful fireball. Shout out to Evil Bane for the ideal drop of the fireball, taking out the skeletons that spawn from the tombstone and allowing that Hog Rider to get to my tower. We are into double elixir in the last minute of this battle, and yes, that right tower is going to fall to my rocket. I go up 1 crown to 0, and the question remains, can I defend this right tower for the last 40 seconds of this battle and just win it 1-0? He's got all sorts of structures up over there. Here comes another Hog Rider. Just like before, the freeze spell, the tombstone goes down. The double freeze spell, he's frozen me right back. I've mirrored a tombstone. He is going to throw a fireball across, and get ready for this. He is going to mirror his fireball, and another fireball comes over, just under 200 hit points left on that tower. And as I throw a rocket now on his left side, maybe it would have been better to try to just play defense to protect that tower. But as you can see, as time counts down, he is going to get through with the arrows. And yes, another fireball. That is going to tie it up with just 3 seconds left. But I'm already working on that left tower. The rocket has gone down, the fireball has gone down, and I'm focused on ranged damage once again, just trying to counter these barbarians long enough to do some more damage. He drops the freeze spell, but the spear goblins outside of the range, the tombstone down after the freeze, and here comes another rocket. Never-ending rockets. It is like a fireworks show up in here. Under 1,000 hit points left, and I've got enough elixir for a mirrored rocket or a lightning spell at this point. I drop the fireball over there, takes the Inferno Tower down. He's got mirrored Hog Riders. Double hogs coming at me, but I've got mirrored freeze spells to answer his mirrored Hog Riders. I've got the tombstone down. He throws the fireball. Freeze spells, fireballs all over the place. This raid has gone full Katy Perry. As time is counting down, I've got yet another rocket on the way over the bridge. 8 seconds left, just over 100 hit points, but here comes the lightning spell. And as we count down, there is the lightning spell. That is going to clutch the 2-1 victory with 3 seconds left. And the dirtiest deck possible claims yet another victim. So range damage in your deck is important. It's always good to have maybe one card in there. That many might be a little bit of overkill, but let me know what you guys think. What do you like to bring in your decks? Are you ready for Clash Royale to go global? Make sure that you subscribe for the earliest update and sneak peek information for both Clash of Clans and Clash Royale. Thank you so much for your time. I hope to see you guys back here again tomorrow, and of course, I will be here bringing you guys more full attacks.
Caledon, come at me with that dick. I'll take you down like John Cena.